after all, to the theory of solipsism. My visitor was a man, and I was on my feet when he limped through my private office and stopped in front of the desk.
"I don't know if you remember me," he said. "I'm John Rothman."
"Yes, sir. Sure I do. It's good to see you again, Mr. Rothman." I had recognized him immediately, even though I hadn't seen him in more than a year. I had a cop's memory for faces. He was the owner of San Francisco's largest second-hand bookshop, an entire building over on Golden Gate Avenue near the Federal Building, 3 floors and a basement full of every kind of used book, from reading copies of popular fiction and non-fiction to antiquarian books, prints, and the like. I had first met him several years ago when pulp magazines were still reasonably cheap and there were only a few serious collectors like myself around. He had acquired, through an estate sale, about 1,000 near-mint issues of Black Mask, Dime Detective, Dime Mystery, Thrilling Detective, and other pulps from the 30s and 40s. And because I happened to be fairly solvent at the time, I'd been able to buy the entire lot at not much more than $1 an issue. Those same 1,000 copies today would cost more than I made most years. On 4 or 5 occasions since then, whenever a new batch of pulps came his way, Rothman had contacted me. I hadn't bought much from him, what with escalating prices, but I had purchased enough to keep my name in his files and in his memory. But it wasn't his profession that had brought him here today. It was mine.
"I've got a serious problem at the bookshop," he said, "and I'd like to hire you to get to the bottom of it."
"If I can help, I'll be glad to do what I can." I waited until he was seated in one of the 2 clients' chairs and then sat down again myself. He was in his 50s, tall and aristocratic-looking, with silvering hair and cheekbones so pronounced they were like sharp little ridges. His limp was the result of some sort of childhood disease or accident. He had once made a vague reference to it, and he needed the use of a cane. The one he hooked over the arm of the chair was thick and gnarled and black with a knobby handle. Its color matched the 3-piece suit he wore.
"I'll get right to the point," he said. "I've been plagued by thefts the past few months, and I'm damned if I can find out who's responsible or how they're being done."
"What is it that's been stolen?"
"Valuable antiquarian items. Rare books at first, more recently etchings, prints, and old maps. The total value so far exceeds $20,000.
I raised an eyebrow. "That's a lot of money."
"It is, and my insurance doesn't cover it all. I've been to the police, but there doesn't seem to be much they can do under the circumstances. There seldom is in cases like this."
"You mean book thefts are a common occurrence?"
"Oh, yes," Rothman said. "Thieves are a thorn in the side of every bookseller. I lose hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of stock to them each year. No matter how closely we watch our customers, the experienced thief can always find a way to slip a book into a concealed pocket, or inside his clothing, or to wrap a print or an old map around himself under a coat. A few years ago, an elderly gentleman, very distinguished, managed to steal a first edition of Twain's Huckleberry Finn, even though I can still swear I had my eyes on him the whole time."
"Do these people steal for profit? To resell the items?"
"Sometimes," he said. "Others are collectors who don't have the money or the inclination to pay for something they desperately want. A much smaller percentage are kleptomaniacs. But this is an unusual case because of the number and value of the thefts, and because of the circumstances surrounding them, and I'm fairly certain the motive is resale for profit. Not to other dealers, but to unscrupulous private collectors who don't care how the items were obtained, and who don't ask questions when they're offered."
"Then you think the thief is a professional?"
"No. I think he's one of my employees."
"Oh? Why is that?"
"For several reasons. All of the items were taken from the antiquarian room on the 3rd floor, a room that is kept locked at all times. I have a key, and so do...